Hello, everybody. Oh, let's get comfortable. So, still not comfortable. Got my trusty paperwork for this one because these were a few places that I didn't realize had this issue. So, a little while ago, there was a video, a few of them posted on tourists getting water gunned while sitting and enjoying a meal. And I was so upset over this. Like, this is disturbing. We have clearly a lot of protesting going on around the world. As a tourist, I try and avoid protests or areas that maybe are having issues. So I wanted to share this video with you because I feel it's really important to know the areas that you're traveling to. I am huge for checking out, and I hate this black hole of a website, but you do get quite a bit of information from it. And that is X, formerly Twitter, because you can find out if there are protests or civil unrest in areas. And that's what we're going to talk about today. It is so important to know certain things that are going on in certain countries. There was a few that I went and did a little investigating, and I was really surprised at some of these. So, main one that we're going to talk about today, Barcelona. And I know that this seems kind of petty and harmless, but for me, it is you spend good money, hard earned money when you go on vacations to enjoy these places and to be approached in a protest that, yes, as a tourist, you during a over tourism protest, you do have some involvement, but it's so disrespectful to have somebody come to you in that manner. And I know it's just a water gun, but this is not what people expect when they go on vacation. You expect to relax, to step away from your normal everyday life, only to be really attacked, and not attacked in a way that you may think, but this puts a huge damper on someone's vacation. And again, this is someone's hard earned money, bringing money into another country. So I was so disappointed when I seen these videos because I truly believe that that's a no-go zone. That is no. Barcelona actually has stepped in and stopped the building of hotels. But this hasn't slowed down the fact that people are still doing your Airbnbs, the housing market. It is making it completely unaffordable for the next generations coming up. So this is another thing that I think, and I have heard that they are going to start cracking down on. I just don't know when they're going to be doing that. So this video is going to be about all the new and older things that are coming into tourism. Obviously, it is a lot, especially now that we have like Airbnbs and housing crisis. And, so I understand these places. So let's get into it and talk about some of them. Santorini had an announcement due to the cruise ships coming in. Now, this I'm taking the side on the residents with. When you have port of calls, it is not just a plane full or a couple planefuls of people coming in. We are talking about a massive cruise ship coming in. When you have an announcement saying, urgent announcement, another difficult day for our city and the island, following the arrival of 17,000 guests from a cruise ship, please pay attention and limit movement as much as possible. When I seen this, I was floored. No, At no point in time should a local have to limit their movements so that tourists can come in. This is a no for me. This is where I have a problem when it comes to the cruise industry. Now, I worked on cruise ships for 4 years and I seen the locals and how they interacted with guests, and I never blamed them for it. The reason being is this is a herd of people coming in. So when we talk about over tourism, the one thing that I respect is when countries are actually start limiting the amount of tourists coming in. Bali was one of them. And I really respected this. Bali was a place that typically at the time it was more of a honeymoon place slash backpackers. Now it's becoming a little bit more midstream. But the tourism there started to deteriorate the island. So I respect Bali in the sense that they have cut down on the amount of tourists that are allowed in. I think a lot of places should start doing this again with the overcrowding. So another one that came up, which I thought was kind of funny, was Amsterdam putting notice to male tourists that if they were going to go there and start over partying and start fights and everything else, they were basically just told to stay away. Another thing is they might start banning on their cruise ships, which again, I completely agree with. If you look at the size of cruise ships, say 20 years ago, and then you look at the size of them now, and it's really scary when you start offloading these cruise ships. And it's not just one or two that are coming into these ports. Some of them can handle four, five, six. So there's a lot of people that are coming off these ships. So I completely agree with this. Paris is another one. Now, they just finished with the Olympics. Obviously, there was a lot of people visiting Paris, which is not new for them, being the fashion capital of the world. The Eiffel Tower, the cafes are amazing. This is not a surprise during the Olympics when crime absolutely skyrocketed. That tends to happen anytime where the Olympics go. But Paris, crime has gone up quite a bit. And again, not shocking when you have massive crowds coming in every single year. One of the top spots and one of my favorite places that I ever visited was Thailand. And this is absolutely no surprise that they had a huge issue with over tourism, bringing in 118 people per one Thai person. That is a lot. And obviously, Thailand has so many places to visit. Depending on what you're looking for, you have the northern part, which is jungle and mountains and just absolutely stunning beauty. And then you have the southern part, which, of course, you have a lot of islands, you have a lot of beaches, and the amount of tourists that this brings in is unbelievable. So places like Krabi and Pattaya, they have had their fair share where it is 98 per local in Krabi and 72 per local in Pattaya. It's cheap, it's beautiful, and that is why they have such a over tourism. So just be prepared. These numbers go up every single year. So if you were planning to go to Thailand, just plan to expect a lot of crowds. Croatia is another one that is suffering with the cruise ship industry. Now, a lot of people are like, yeah, but they just come in and then, after like 5 or 6 hours, the ships leave again. It is not so much that the people aren't staying overnight. It is simply the fact of the massive crowds during the day. This does interrupt local atmosphere so bad. It is truly sad that locals have to go through this. And again, with the sizes of these cruise ships being so big, it is herds of people coming in. Machu Picchu was another one. And if you haven't seen my videos on that, go and check it out. But they have tried many times on trying to figure out how they want to do their circuits. And I think the new circuit plan that they have out with the 10 circuits is going to really slow down the foot traffic in certain spots. And I respect Machu Picchu for doing this. As much as some of the circuits are a little crazy, I do respect that they are trying to lower the footprint with the tourists in this area. So much respect there that they are at least trying to preserve this area so that, again, generations down the road can actually experience it. Japan is another one that is suffering with tourists in certain spots, not all spots. Obviously, Japan is a highly populated area, but this town here, I'm not going to even try to pronounce it, is at the base of Mount Fuji. Now, this gorgeous, famous natural wonder is definitely overran with tourists. They even had to put up a 8-foot high fence just to remove the tourists from stopping and blocking traffic just to take a picture. There's now an entry fee for the popular trail, and I absolutely respect that they are trying to slow down tourists from interrupting the natural flow of the locals. So I definitely respect this. When we talk about tourist traps, the reason that people call them tourist traps is because they have way too many tourists going there. So you're not exactly getting to experience this natural wonder or this phenomenon of these things that go on inside these countries because these places are not putting a cap on the amount of tourists. But when it comes to locals, one thing you have to understand is that a tourist does not usually know what's going on in your country. And to take your frustrations out on them is a little bit absurd. So, my suggestion is leave the tourists alone. If they're not causing you problems physically or they're not, distressing you in a way that they cannot fully control, then just leave them out of it. I'm pretty sure as a person who travels, maybe you don't, but if you do, you kind of want the same respect when you travel. And I'm pretty sure that you don't want to be hosed down with a water gun. So leave the tourists alone. And for the tourists, have respect and know where you're going and some of the flaws that you may be causing by going to these places. So definitely do your investigating and before you go on vacation. But I'm going to leave it here. Be nice, everyone. Have fun. Explore the world. And if you haven't already and you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And of course, if you have not subscribed yet and you want to see any of my future videos, just so you know, I have 2 amazing adventures coming up and I am so pumped to share them with you. So don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. And of course, if you think anyone's going to benefit from this video, don't forget to share. Bye, everyone.